me for the YouTube subscribers. Well, subscribe already. Hit the fucking like button and subscribe before I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
UFC Long Island. Nice to see UFC traveling again on normal cards, right? Usually you would see this at the Apex. Nice to have some fans. And in Long Island, can't remember the last time it was there. Excellent main event. Excited for this main event between Ortega and Rodriguez. We have a few other good fights. I'll be going over those, going over the main card like usual, breaking it down, providing free picks, leans, and maybe what to avoid from a betting standpoint. Head over to systemsportscapping.com, guys. If you want to start profiting in all sports, I handicap not just the UFC, handicap 5 to 7 sports depending on what's going on. Head over there. Records are over there. Updated records after each bet. Videos, client comments, and a bunch of other stuff as well. System capping on Twitter and Instagram. Give me a follow over there. You're going to see some free picks sometimes, some client comments in my profile over the years. Sports betting and sports news in general, all in the story. So I do think I am a good follow over there. UFC Vegas 58 recap. Let's do the recap quickly for everybody. Another profitable card for myself and clients, going 4-1 on all bets. Also another good pick for free picks as well. Just the one main event was wrong. I had to try to attack that for value. I was all over Shevchenko by decision for clients. She won the first 2 rounds, lost the third. Close fight though. We were on Nurmagomedov to get it done with a 2-fight parlay with Borriello, who dominated exactly how I expected with the wrestling. Petrosian's wrestling is terrible. Takedown defense is terrible. And he exposed them there. Listen to the game plan. Wrestle, don't try to stand and bang the whole time you're going to win the fight. That's what he did. Also was on the over 2.5 rounds. We got that at a good price at plus money in that same fight. Only loss on the card was RDA. We had a smaller unit play on RDA due to the price, right? Plus 180, plus 200. Some people got it at. Fiziev passed the test against his toughest competition yet and a veteran, right? His takedown defense was a little bit better than expected. RDA got caught in the 5th round after a huge round in round 4. I thought if he won that 5th round, he could have won the fight. But it just didn't pan out. Fiziev got tired too in the 4th, and then he just somehow found some power, and very dangerous striker. You don't want to strike with the guy the whole fight. RDA probably should have tried to go to the wrestling and grappling a little more and a little more often. He found some success in the 4th round, but it wasn't enough. Weekly update, guys. Let's get into the weekly update. UFC 122-64 long term, guys. That's 66%. Won't find too much higher documented in the market. 67-28 shorter term, 71%, guys. And that's over 60 units in the prop market. PGA. Could have been a much better week last week. We had a bad beat alert. Home a plus 600 T10 due to a bogeying the 18th hole. He was in the T10 slot, then he bogeyed the 18th hole to move out. It happens in golf, guys. A very small profit in the prop market. I'm talking about very small. None in the tournament overall, though. Plus 72.5 units long term in the prop market. 5 straight profitable majors. Big betting card this weekend for the Open Championship. I am looking forward to hopefully making it 6 straight. MLB. Took some time off from the MLB. Found a few good spots on the weekend and lost them all. I don't know. The MLB betting gods are against me after raping them at the start of the year. We had a spectacular run to start the year. And then now, we're just getting hit with upsets and losing on good spots. So I'll be laying low in the MLB regular season moving forward. NHL reminder. Let's give you the NHL reminder. Big season in the NHL, as you guys know. NBA reminder. Also a big season in the regular season as well. Back-to-back years, both these sports have been great, guys. And, of course, my best sport, I would say, all sports are fairly equal, to be honest. My best sport, though, I would say is NFL. NFL, let's get that reminder up. Let's hear from my friend Meredith before we get into this card.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Like, comment, share, guys. It helps me out a lot with this algorithm. It's all I ask. If you can help me out with the comments and likes, comment anything, even an emoji, whatever you guys want to do. It definitely does help me out, so thanks for that. Shop around, guys. Shop around for best price, like I always mention. You know, my betting advice could be to you guys all the time is have multiple books. Put money in multiple accounts. Me personally, I have 5-6 different books with different values in each account. So, you know, a bunch of money in each account. That's the best way to find the best price. You know, sometimes I use obviously 2 or 3 books more, but I like to look at all of them before I place a wager. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into it. Main event. I'm excited for this one. Ortega, minus 165. I think it's moving up a bit. Minus 180 now on some books. Versus Rodriguez, plus 140. You know, we have a high-level main event here this weekend, right? Which guys that are just below the best in the world in this weight class, right? And it's not an easy fight to handicap. It's not a super easy fight to handicap. But if Ortega sticks to this game plan that I have for him, he wins this fight. You know, both guys coming off big losses to the best 2 guys in this division, Volk and Max, right? Both good fights, though. Ortega put Volk in the deepest waters yet, right? Almost submitted him. But did take a lot of damage in that fight. And in years coming off a 5-round fun fight versus Max. And he had some moments in that fight as well. You know, if this fight stays standing for 5 rounds, Yair definitely has a shot to win this fight. This is a kickboxing style striking battle. Yair could win this fight and he could cash as this dog here. You know, we see Ortega fall in love with his hands a little more and stand up, which he has improved a lot in his stand up. Remember, he went away to the dungeon, came back as Batman, and learned how to strike. It was crazy. It's going to be a little harder to show that against a really top-level striker like Rodriguez. So in my opinion, I think he should mix it up. You know, he clearly has the advantage on the ground. He can definitely take down Rodriguez. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, Ortega's some world beater wrestler, because he's not. He's not a great wrestler. As you can see, he doesn't have a ton of takedowns in his fights. But if he does get it to the ground, he's very dangerous in the submission game, and he could submit Rodriguez here. Now, he has been adding some more wrestling to his game. I've seen it in training. We've seen it in some of his fights. He even took Volk down. He's took Volk down as well. So he is incorporating in his game plan. And I think he needs to do it here to make it a sure win. Sure, if it's a stand-up and bang war, it's just a close fight. It's a flip of a coin. If it's just going to be on the feet for 5 rounds, anyone could win this fight, guys, to be honest. But if Ortega mixes it in an MMA fight, gets it to the ground, tries to get some submissions, he's going to get points off that. So I do think Ortega is the bet here. It hasn't made my client card as of yet. I do think if you can get the submission prop at plus 300 or better, there's definitely some value there with Ortega. I can see this fight going all 5 rounds though too, right? But if Ortega gets this to the ground, he's going to have some submission capability and attempts on Rodriguez. So keep that in mind. The question is Ortega going to continue to get him down and keep it down there, right? Or Rodriguez is able to get up. You know, he's not going to just lay down. You can't just lay down on him like a wet blanket. Ortega's wrestling is not that good. He's not that strong on the ground. But if Ortega continues to get this fight to the ground, I think he has a chance to make it an MMA fight and win this fight. So I'm going to be on Ortega here at this price. Shop around like I mentioned. It did not make my client card as yet. It may though. It may make my client card even in a 2-5 parlay, or if I can get a good price on the submission. But I'm very excited for this fight. I just hope Ortega decides to make an MMA fight and not a kickboxing fight where Rodriguez, you know, probably has the advantage in the striking department. So definitely excited for this one. Can't wait to watch it. I'll be looking at Ortega in some fashion. Co-main, an interesting one, a little random one. Waterson is back plus 270 versus Lemos minus 340. You know, just as a betting professional on the lines and betting on UFC for so long, this line's off, right, at minus 340. This line is steep, as they would say. And, yes, Waterson obviously has lost 3 of her last 4 fights. She's a little older now. What does she have left? How focused is she? There's definitely questions around there, right? Waterson's a girl that has opportunities outside the cage. Pretty girl, does some modeling, acting. I think she has a little small business as well. Does a lot of promo stuff on Instagram. So she makes money elsewhere, right? And she has a kid, I'm pretty sure. I think she's married. I could be wrong with the kid. I do think she's married, though. So she's starting to look at the other side of life right now. That always concerns me, right, with Joanna. Last time we were on the Weili side, and that's why. And that's very important, guys. I can't stress that enough. When you're fighting for a living and your foot's kind of 1 foot out the door, it's a terrible, terrible thing. So you gotta, yes, that's obviously hard to gauge, how focused is she for this fight, this and that. Hey, she looked great on Instagram. Her cut looks great. She looks strong, right? And Waterson's been in there with a lot better competition. She's been in there in some wars. She fights the decisions. And, that's why I do like, my favorite play in this fight is the over 2.5 rounds or fight to go to the decision. That's going to be my favorite play here. It's going to be pricey, I'm sure, but I cannot lay minus 340 on Lemos, even though I do lean her slightly, but I definitely won't be betting her. I do think she's the better striker, has the more power. Waterson, if she does decide to wrestle, I think she has a slight advantage there. So if she can get this fight to the ground, that's going to be smart on her behalf. But it's only 3 rounds, so we would have to see that. Lemos hasn't fought the toughest competition as Waterson. Lemos did. She fought in draw, and we saw what happened, a first-round submission, right? So keep that in mind, guys. This price is way off. Yes, Lemos, great striker, flashy, has power, but at minus 340, definitely I don't like this price. I lean her from a side standpoint, but my favorite play is over 2.5 rounds in the fight to go the distance. Give me a moment here, guys. Jin Liang plus 145 versus Salikov minus 170. I think this should be a good fight. Salikov has 5 straight wins versus lower level guys, though. Against, Jin Liang is coming off that loss to Khamzat, has fought guys at a much higher level, in my opinion. He beat Ponzinibbio. He lost to Magny and Matthews. I think he usually struggles when guys decide to take him down. All right? And this isn't the classic wrestler, Russian wrestler that you guys are used to, right? He's more of like a martial artist, karate style, sambo style guy. He's not really a grappler wrestler. You don't see that a ton. That's obviously going to be the path to victory, but if this fight stays standing, I like the value here at plus 145 on the Chinese fighter here, right? If Salikov decides to just take him down and wrestle and hold him, he probably wins this fight, but if it's a stand and bang style fight, I think there's some value at plus 145 on Jin Liang. Am I betting this fight for my clients? Probably not. For video purposes, though, there's value there at plus 145. So I would say look there at a smaller unit if you have to bet this fight. Not a fight that I'm going to bet, but that's the path here, right? Jin Liang, we know how he fights. He likes to come forward. He has heavy power shots, heavy hands, and he has a tough chin. So the only time he has never been knocked out. Keep that in mind. But he's been submitted. Does Salikov have submission game? No. We haven't seen it, right? So there's value there, plus 145. This won't make my betting card. But if I advise you guys to bet a side and you want to bet a whole bunch of games, a bunch of fights, Jin Liang will be the play here. So Mutijiri, minus 260 versus Schnell plus 210, another line that seems off, in my opinion. Chinese fighter, why is he minus 260? I don't know, really. He hasn't really beaten anybody at all low-level guys. Schnell's been in there with tough guys. This guy can strike, the Chinese fighter, Mutijiri. He does have some power as well. We know Schnell, questionable chin. So I get it. I get it. Gun to head, I'll take the Chinese fighter at minus... Well, not at minus 260, but just to win the fight. I won't be betting this fight due to the lines. I get it if you're on Schnell at plus 210 for a small unit. I get it. I wouldn't call you crazy. There is a path if he decides to wrestle. Problem is, he doesn't wrestle. Right? The path is to take this guy down. and not try to stand and bang with him. If he can somehow decide to just take him down, he can win this fight. But if it's a stand and bang war, I favor the Chinese fighter here. That's why I guess the minus 260 is this high. I still don't agree with it. I think it should be more minus maybe 160 to 180. So there's some value here with Schnell. Just because Sumajiri hasn't beaten anyone to have this number beside it, the minus 260 beside his name. I can't get there due to that. So I'm staying away, but I get it. If you guys are going to bet Schnell for a small unit plus 210, it's just his wrestling's not good enough to make it a threat for me. If his wrestling was better and he can just lean on that, I see it. Look at the takedown average. Just look at the takedown average here on the graphic. Burgos, this is fight of the night candidate, guys. Burgos minus 170 versus Jourdain plus 145. Two guys that like to stand and bang and throw down, right? So sometimes when it's two guys that just like to bang, stand, throw, it's a little risky, and there is some risk here. But I just love the matchup that UFC put on here. Should be an exciting fight. Burgos does have a wrestling advantage. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to take him down here. He's fighting at someone at home. I know he's from Brooklyn, I'm pretty sure, Burgos, New Jersey. Not that far away. He should have some fans here for this one. He's coming off a win against Billy Q, fairly dominant win. And then just when he steps up in competition, he struggles, right? Barbosa finished him in the third round. Emmett won a decision, which was one of the better fights we have seen in a long time. I like Burgos, how he fights, very entertaining. I do think he does get the job done. If it's going to be a slugfest for 3 rounds, anyone can get caught, right? We've seen Burgos' chin a little suspect at times. So Jourdain does hit hard. So keep that in mind. Jourdain's coming off some good wins. Not the level of competition that Burgos fought, though. So this is why I like Burgos here. Due to level of competition, him should have a big crowd of friends, family in there due to the location of the fight. And, I expect Burgos to bounce back here and, after a couple losses, then the win against Billy Q, but, get on a little bit of a run here. He's one of the more exciting fighters in the UFC, to be honest, Burgos. I think he gets it done. I don't think it would be a bad idea to mix in some wrestling, guys, to be honest. Let's see if he does it, though. I know he likes to make exciting fights. He always says it. I'm the most exciting fighter in the UFC. Is he going to go to the wrestling? I don't know because of that, right? Very tough to say that he's going to go to that. He does have the advantage there, so that will be interesting to see. Maybe if he decides that the striking exchanges are close or whatnot, maybe he does decide to go there. But yeah, I like Burgos. Price isn't too bad either. So definitely take a look at that. Hard to call an outcome here. Very tough to call an outcome or rounds. Opening up the main card, Murphy plus 180 versus Tate minus 220. Interesting one here. This fight was supposed to happen a bunch of times. Last time we saw Murphy in there was against Valentina. Valentina worked her and actually finished that fight. Murphy was saying she was hurt. She shouldn't have fought that in the fight. I don't know. After 5 straight wins, Murphy got that fight. She deserved that. She was going on a nice run. No big wins, right? Lower level wins, in my opinion. Wood had one foot out the door. Lee, Modafferi, mid-tier girls she was getting wins against, right? The thing here is, Tate's path is to wrestle and get her down. She is moving down. Last fight was at 135. She's moving down to 125. She should be strong, but Murphy's super strong as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Tate could get her down. Valentina was able to get Murphy down, so Tate's game plan, will we get it down? But hey, I think Tate could strike with her. Murphy's not a great striker, guys. Tate should be able to get in and out on her with a jab and shot, right? So I do think Tate is probably a little better everywhere. Maybe Murphy, I can say the heart. Maybe Murphy, I could say strength. And Tate is going down. So it's all about the weight cut here. Watch the weight cut, guys. Watch the weight cut before you bet on this fight, right? 220, a little steep. But I do think Tate finds a way to get this done. I don't know if I'm going to bet it at 220. It probably would be a decision play for me. If I can get it at plus money on Tate, I would have to scour the market for that. But for a video player, it's going to be Tate. The price sucks, though. The price sucks. And, Murphy's a tough girl. So I don't see a finish here. I don't see a finish here. I would see just, a very close fight, but Tate does enough. Her name value kind of gets her decision win. we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here, but not a fight I'm truly interested in for a client card play here, but Tate could make it some way if I can get a good price on the decision. That will do it, guys. Bunch of free information, bunch of free picks for you guys. Do what you like with those, but we've been hitting at a very high clip for long-term. We've been proving it long-term time and time again, Perfect cards, 4-1 cards. It's rare that you're going to have a losing card here from all the free information and client plays, of course, as well. If you want my personal plays, sign up today. It's cheap price. As of right now, prices may go up in the NFL season. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this card.